How you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Busy
Good.
day, cold, windy,
Yeah.
productive.
Awesome.
How about you?
Good. I hit the ice bath after my workout today. Yeah, I did 1
Good.
minute in, 1 minute in the hot tub, 1 minute out, back and forth for 5 rounds, and then I got in the sauna.
You got to hold it for like 7 minutes.
Oh, in the ice bath? Oh, I bet. That's the first time I've been in the ice bath in like 4 years.
And that's a bad one.
So,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
good
that's
start.
tough.
I want to learn the Wim Hof.
Yeah,
Go crazy.
of course you do.
Yeah, you look like a nut.
Yeah, I bet. What's going on, everybody? It's Chris.
I'm Ben.
This is Priority Traffic Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about mindset. Let's go.
All right, man. Let's go and describe mindset in the fire service.
Oh, man. Well,
How big of a portion of the fire service is mindset, in your own words?
in my own words, I would say being in the fire service is a mindset. Like doing a service job, providing a service, putting the needs of other people in front of you, in front of your own needs, making all your decisions based on someone else's benefit. That's definitely a mindset. Being able to suffer on someone else's behalf. I think you have to have a mindset going into each workday and to even join the profession where I know that this is a job that when I'm uncomfortable, it's probably because I'm doing something for someone else.
Right.
And you have to be okay with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. As soon as you sign the papers, you take the oath for this job, that you have the mindset that, like we learn, you risk a lot to save a lot, right? At what point are you going to go and risk it all to potentially change a stranger's life?
Mm-hmm.
Give them 3 more days, give them another lifetime,
Right.
It's a roll of dice.
Absolutely.
And you have to make that judgment call on the spot, and you have to live with your decisions,
Yeah.
And I think mindset goes a long way as far as every day in the stations, dealing with different leaders, dealing with other people.
Sure.
We're with 100 other people, right? Everybody's different.
Right.
You got to learn how to work with them. Not everybody's pleasant. Not everybody's happy to be there.
Right.
I try to show up with the mindset of being happy to be there, being grateful for my job, loving what I do, thankful for that. But you have different leaders that lead in different ways.
Right.
Good, bad, ugly. You can learn from them. You follow them. And hopefully someday with where you pick up the goods and bads, you can teach it along the way to the people you end up leading.
Perfect. I don't think I could say it any better than that. And then like on a bigger aspect, mindset is the beliefs and the preconceived thoughts and feelings, everything you bring to either a moment in time or a decision or a type of music. Like you might have prejudices against certain types of music, but you hold a mindset towards everything. My mindset towards fitness: minimal effective dose, recover, do it again. Like I don't like to crush myself anymore.
Right.
Like I ran today. I did a quick little like 20-minute circuit, then got right in the ice bath, did that stuff. My mindset was get it over with and get back home.
Yeah, right. Well, you have priorities at home that you need to take
Right.
care of. You go and take your daily dose of fitness, get the good feeling, get the benefits, and
Right.
then you come home, enjoy the day off with your wife,
Yeah.
hang out with the dogs, and relax on a nice, cold, icy day in winter.
And the icy basement dojo.
Yeah. Dojo.
Gotta call it the dojo. So there's two kinds of in the psychology field. There's two kinds of mindsets.
Okay.
There's a growth mindset, and then there's a fixed mindset.
Mm.
And those are the two predominant mindsets that I've dealt with and learned about recently. So let's talk about a fixed mindset real quick.
Okay.
You basically think and believe that you're either born with talent, like it's innate, and you're not going to get better. You can't train it. You can't get any better than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people think, well, if you're not born with the ability to sing, well, then you just don't have it. Right? Like, you just won't be a singer.
Yeah.
It might take more work for person X to get to be like an accomplished vocalist.
Yeah.
But I don't think, me personally, I don't think that without natural ability, you can't be a singer, right?
Yeah.
So the fixed mindset is really just you're stuck. You're not open-minded to things getting better, things changing. You really don't like change.
Yeah. So you're stuck in a perpetuum of just never evolving.
Yes.
And personally, I think that's flexible to say you can do that in other fields, right? So me personally, throughout my life, I've taken on fitness.
Sure.
Love fitness, go to the gym all the time. But when it came to like mind, body, spirit, stuff like that, like
Sure.
I have religion, I believe in God, and
Yeah.
everybody does their own thing.
Right.
But mind, body, listening to your body, worrying about recovery.
Ooh.
I thought I was just kind of workout. It's been working out
Right.
and getting muscles, man. But is there more to the story? Is there
Right.
things I can do to change? And the last couple of years, I've opened up that fixed mindset and kind of been more open-minded in those separate fields.
Sure. So you're looking at ways to get better.
Yeah. And you kind of realize saying, like, you know what? Just because I've done this for so long, this certain way it's been working out, is there another avenue that can enhance my life that I've been overlooking?
Sure.
And I think you can do that. And say you have a fixed mindset on fitness and like what I just described, but you have an open mindset on finances.
Right.
Or how you enjoy your time off and trying new things. I think it's more of a flexible thing. I will argue the point that fixed mindset and open mindset are, I don't know, flexible and kind of on a continuum in different bases as far as you can choose which one you want to go with in different scenarios.
So I think, yeah, you make a really good point there. Like maybe you have an open mindset when it comes to recovery. You're like, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I have stuff to learn.
Right.
Or finances, right? So then maybe you have a fixed mindset in the way you do something. Like, this is the way I clean the toilet. I'm not open to learning. I'm not interested. You're not going to tell me something I don't know. And then as soon as somebody shows you something you're like, oh, crap.
Right, yeah.
I should have been.
You should have tried this toothbrush method,
right,
bro.
exactly.
You got to get in there.
Exactly. So that's the growth, the mindset is you're open and willing to learn, to see from other perspectives, have empathy. That's one of the key things with being able to understand other people. But yeah, a growth mindset is like the ideal mindset to have. And you'll find out who has it real quick when you tell them you're changing the way that they do stuff,
Gotcha.
Especially in the fire service. So there's not a lot of growth mindset in the fire service right now. A lot of it is fixed. A lot of, let's call them generational firefighters. They've been around for a little bit. You can call them
the gatekeepers.
Yeah, the gatekeepers. The people who have been there for 20 years. They're almost at the end of their career. And I can understand why. You've done something for 20 years to get you to this far.
Yeah.
You really have an ingrained pattern in everything you do, so you don't really want to change much. Right? You're not really open to doing new things. You've only got a little time left. So
you're almost on autopilot at that point.
Yeah.
It's more if you were to go and change a whole SOP on how you go and pull line. If you could change your cross lays.
Oh, we just did.
Yeah.
We just did.
Guess what? That throws a whole wrench in their lifestyle. And the one day they're there and they're first on and they're the ones required to pull the line, are they going to remember the new way to do it, or are they going to fall back into old habits?
Well, if you don't remember, so with ours, if you try to do it the same way we used to do it, we recently took a new cross lay, and then before that was another new cross lay, and then before that was the way we did it. So we've changed it twice.
Gotcha.
So that is like unheard of.
Right, yeah.
Right?
So breaking new ground.
We got this new cross lay. It's much easier to pull. And now those guys who weren't happy with the previous cross lay actually trained and adopted the new way. So they actually flipped their mindset and decided to grow and train and learn, which was really cool. But this new cross lay is like the bee's knees.
So what you're saying is with an open mindset, you can actually benefit from something and realize there's a better way to do it.
If you can swallow your pride and not let your ego get in check and or not get in check, but get in the way, you can definitely improve. You can get a little bit closer to being the more optimal version of yourself.
Okay. So let's went over how important mindset is in the fire
Yeah.
service. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions as far as what mindset means to you in
Yeah.
context of what makes you, because you are such a determined person.
Sure.
You hold strong to your values. You put your job first. You put your family first. Your job to a close second.
Yes.
What makes you put 110% into your job every single day? What is that mindset?
So for me, I really I get to work, I show up. I've got my crew, and they're not my crew. I'm the fireman, right? But I know that my impact on them, when I'm near them and I'm in proximity to those people, if I'm negative, it's gonna bring them down. It's gonna add to the group morale, and it's gonna bring it down. So I have the mindset of I come to work. I'm positive. I try to be a leader. I try to lead by example. I don't always want to cook, so maybe I'm not like the one coming up with food ideas every day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But most days you can find me at 4:00 in the gym.
There you go.
Right. So I'm leading. I'm going to bed early. So
now, are you pulling people with you to the gym?
I try my best. I don't do a lot of like hard push, but like, hey, we getting in the gym today, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep.
A small accountability.
Yeah.
I like it.
A little peer pressure, never hurt anybody. But I really try to just focus on my crew, doing the best I can for the service of the community, and make sure my crew and I are all on the same page. And that's just from my perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk to them about anything. We just had a good training the other day, pulled off a bunch of things that we learned, and we're like, communication. That's the key. Talk.
Gotcha.
If you can't see, talk. If it's hot, talk.
Yeah.
If the conditions change really, really quick, you better tell somebody.
Yeah, communication's everything.
And so here, I got a question for you then.
Okay.
So let's say you're at a fire, you're on a fire scene, you're in a structure, or maybe you're outside, but something that you see and you're like, wow, I have never seen that before. And that's the thought that goes through your head. Like, what are you doing with that gut feeling?
That's a...
Because we talked about this yesterday.
It's a very uneasy gut feeling.
So what do you do with it, though?
Well...
Wow, I've never seen that before.
For me personally, that's something I would go and you try to add it into your library, right?
Okay.
So you have a certain set of tools. I've been lucky enough I got a little bit of experience from the job, and I like to look at myself like I'm a well-versed firefighter, you know. And granted, no one's seen everything. Every fire's different. Every job's different. They always will be.
Right.
Okay. So see something new, I would take a step back and try to speak with my guys, not my guys, but
like your
my
crew,
other firefighters, my lieutenant, and ask them about what else they see. Because a lot of the times you can get in there and get a tunnel vision. You see fire, you see smoke, but you miss a lot of other things.
Sure.
You might see a space of maybe it's fully involved, 70% involved, right? So there's 30% of the area that is survivable. Did you take note of that, or are you looking at the big fire?
Right. Yeah, you're all like, whoa.
Yeah, if you're going into a restaurant fire and you see a bunch of smoke, fire, you go in there, you start hitting it, and you missed the big AC unit that's right above the fire.
Right.
And you see things that are acting up. If you don't communicate with these people and your people do not communicate with you, you're holding yourself up to your own liability. You're putting yourself in a situation you can't get out of.
Right.
So I think communication falls back on that.
Exactly.
So if you don't go back and get somebody else's viewpoint on something that you've never seen before, how are you going to analyze it? How are you going to move forward?
Right.
What is the right decision? You guys all have to come to the same decision to make a tactical decision on the fire.
Yeah.
You know?
In real time. Like, so the...
or you could panic, right?
Right. Yeah. You can just shit your pants and call it good.
Right.
Oops.
Somebody else can do this.
Yeah. Combat.
Call 911. That's what I do.
Oh, jeez. So we talked about that yesterday. It's like, if you come across something you've never seen before in the fire service, and maybe your boss is like, oh, yeah, I've seen that before. Here's, through his mask. Well, I'll tell you more about it later. Just, it's going to get hot real quick, but it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Or maybe they know what we're looking at.
Right.
But so L.A., they had, in May 2020, they had the Boyd Street fire.
Okay.
Right? So there was butane and nitrous oxide whippets in this structure that started basically just going off. Like,
whippets, like the little containers?
Exactly. Lots of them. So they had this thermal fire event that was a blowtorch. Like they got stuck on the ladder. We just watched the video the other day.
Okay.
It was intense.
Yeah.
But they were all pointing out the fact that they had never seen, like when they pulled the roof, like they had this mirage type heat coming out, and it was like that funny looking, like it glows. It kind of looks wavy, but it was coming out fast. Right. So then it starts to sound like a fire, but it sounds like a jet engine. Right. So they're talking about how they've never seen all this stuff. Right. And granted, this is a very short amount of time where this happened. But we just thought during a little training, we're like, maybe we should, anytime like it changes, right? So anytime there's a negative effect, like let's say you cut a hole in the roof and the effect is negative. It got darker and got hotter, so your hole didn't work.
Right.
I better tell you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you want to know if that lifted for us or not. Right?
Yeah.
So if it helped, if it got cooler and the smoke lifted, I should also tell you. Right? So I think my mindset towards communication is just a lot of it without being on the radio too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't clog up the
pertinent
airwaves.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say that's priority traffic.
That's priority traffic.
There you go. Went wow.
All right. So let's talk about a little bit of mindset at the fire station. Now let's talk about mindset at home.
Mindset at home. Wow.
Yeah. So let me throw you get home, you have a long night. You are up all night, several calls from midnight to 5:30 in the morning.
Woo.
Right? Yeah, it's rough.
That's a rough morning.
Every time you touch your bed, you lay down, and you are greeted by the tones. Get back up, put your clothes back on, walk back out of the truck, figure out where you're going.
So are we talking about mindset like repeated calls, or are we talking mindset like when I get home?
I'm saying you're leaving the station. You get off at what, 8?
So we get off at 7 o'clock.
Ooh, me too.
Nice.
Beautiful time, man.
Yep.
So you get off at 7 o'clock, hop in your truck. The second you hop in your truck, where's your mindset from being beat down all night doing your job to being the husband you want to be at home?
Oh, geez. Where's my mindset? It's probably, my mindset is likely I need to take care of myself first. So there's that, 7 o'clock. I get home about 8:15. I got an hour and a half an hour to drive with traffic. I got a straight shot down 23.
Beautiful.
I got to relax. Today, I said recovery protocol. Went to the gym. I trained for 40 minutes, and then I got in the ice bath, like I said earlier. And that was my transition period. That was to get my autonomic nervous system calm and under control. That ice bath made me breathe a lot.
Yeah, it will.
Running a mile makes me breathe. Doing the little circuit with the weights and everything, that made me breathe.
Yeah.
So that kind of calmed me down. Getting home is, she works from home, and she's very, very, very open to me taking a nap.
Yeah.
Like she understands. I've got 2 days to recover so I can go do it again.
Right.
And I want to work out. So I went and worked out, and I actually didn't feel like I needed a nap today.
Nice.
But we got some sleep. So
beautiful.
You'd have to ask me that question on a day where we got our butts pushed in.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that from being on, say, for example, redlining all night long. Nobody wants to be up all night long. You're going to go and get in the truck, do your very best to relax, calm down. Change your mindset from being go, go, go to it's recovery time. It's time to take care of yourself so you can get back to your wife, treat her well, your dogs, treat them well, and get back to work when you need to and have the right mindset when you show up.
Exactly. And so the protocol, it's not really a protocol. It's just what I did today. But I was calling it a protocol because it sounds pretty cool.
Sounds sweet.
But my goal is to not let the way I feel at home after work contaminate my relationship at home.
Yeah.
Like I have to come back home and integrate to people who are normal, not stressed out, not running calls all night.
Right.
Like this is reality.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to integrate to that, and I have to do that without contaminating it.
Yeah.
So if I had a bad night at work, I can't come in and like yell at her or say something stupid or be short. So I try to be aware of all that and try to leave that at the station or at least in the truck.
Yeah.
Right. Like go to the gym, burn it off, come home, be busy.
Yeah.
I've been doing homework all day, so.
Yeah, and I know.
Gross. Yeah.
So the reason I say that is because in our service, you know just as well as I do that we have a huge problem with relationships. A lot of people do, right? It's one of the hardest things firefighters, police officers, and I believe nurses as well have a big problem with is how they mend work stress with home stress.
Yeah.
Because you're lucky. Your wife, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
Pulled in here a second ago. She's got about 3 coats on, and the dogs all have coats, and they're going for a run. I was like, what an animal, you know?
Yeah.
And
3 a day.
3 a day.
Yep.
And so, yeah, not everybody has that, and sometimes they have a sticky spot at home, and maybe they got things they got to work on every single day.
Yep.
So they go from stress of work, which is demanding, especially in our line of work.
Especially when you don't sleep.
Right.
Like, let's just say you woke up 6 times in the middle of the night at work and you didn't run any calls.
Right.
Or you just got up.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't function on brutal sleep. No sleep, I should say. And so they're leaving work with a mindset of being drugged down, stressed, to come home with the same mindset. What are some tips and tricks you think for those people can enhance their life, enhance a relationship, and have them kind of take a step back and separate the work stress from the at-home stress so they can be focused on dealing with the problems at hand at home to make sure that their life goes kosher, that they're not getting mad at anybody for no reason, that they're not putting off this work stress on someone else?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I can come up with 2 ways that I think would help someone who's trying to separate work stress and home stress. And maybe there's different stresses, but you just don't want to cross over.
Right, yeah.
You need to create some space in between job and home.
Yeah.
Like that hour drive, you can listen to a podcast. You can listen to calming music. You got to be careful with what you listen to when you're tired driving home.
Right.
Like the vibes will just put you to sleep.
Absolutely.
So, but breathing, like nice and intentional breathing.
Okay.
I don't know
breath
if
work.
Breath work will allow you to come back
Okay.
and calm down. And then you have to be really, really present and have some level of self-awareness where you can acknowledge and identify emotions as they come up. Like, oh man, I'm feeling pretty angry right now, but I'm not going to just punch something.
Yeah.
Right? You can notice it. It comes up. You don't have to react through it.
Yeah.
You can kind of just move it over here and be like, yes, I am angry, but I'm not going to do things out of anger. I'm not going to act on it.
Right.
And that takes some work, but I think having being in tune with yourself and in your body and realizing when anxiety is coming up. And if you can identify it and say, oh, I feel the anxiousness coming up, but not making an action through that anxiety where you do something erratic or however that would go.
Okay.
That is what I would call making space between what is it even called? Just the current moment and where you're headed.
Gotcha. So essentially what we could throw out there for the listeners is you can take, and this is one of those growth mindset moments, right? I think a lot of people have a fixed mindset on the fact that they may be stuck in their patterns. They may think that this is just a repercussion from the job they have. But if they could go and reflect, right? That's something that not a lot of firefighters use that word, reflect. If they can go and reflect on how they're acting towards themselves, the feelings they have at that time, take a nice introspective look at themselves, notice their breathing pattern changes. You get anxiety, you get anger, start breathing faster.
Yeah.
Right?
And just pay attention to how your body feels, the tension. Are you clenching your jaw?
Right. And so you pay attention to these things. When you breathe fast, you're getting less oxygen in your brain. Your brain isn't working quite as good.
Right.
Okay. And you can stop, pause, take note, realize, okay, what I just said wasn't right.
Right.
Why did I act this way? What was I feeling when I acted this way?
Sure.
What was I breathing like when I acted this way? And maybe this can be like the aura folks have before migraines, seizures, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you take note of that, you learn it, understand how you can mitigate this problem
in the
to
future.
make your life to make your life better in the future.
Right.
And I think that's the growth mindset as far as stopping, pausing, reflecting on who you are and what you're doing and how you make it better, because everybody wants to get better.
Right.
Nobody wants to have more problems.
No, nobody does.
Life's kind of a pain in the butt.
So
right? Things pop up. So if you can make it a little bit easier, a little bit of I don't know, self-awareness.
A little self-awareness and a little bit of pause.
Yeah.
Like, so that tactical pause. It's not only good on the fire ground where you jump out of the truck and, the house is on fire and you're like, okay, now what do I do next?
Yeah.
Right? You just take a breath.
Yeah.
So if you have time at home and you can get into a meditation practice where you do breath focused, just trying to focus on your breath, and that's really all you're doing. Anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes is enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
That'll transfer into those stress scenarios, right? Like, let's say you're at work and stress hits the fan, so you take some breaths. You've built that practice in, but you can also use that at home, where if something triggers you and you're going to fly off the handle, you can take those breaths, that tactical pause. It's tactical when it's at work. It's pretty much just human when you're at home.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you can have the tactical advantage at home.
I think tactical in front of any word makes it a lot cooler.
Oh, for sure.
So
it's much cooler.
I'm a tactical janitor when I'm at work, when you got to clean the bathrooms.
Dude, for real.
Like,
right?
There's things you can say that just
I put the spray bottles in my belt.
Yeah, pop it out, spin it around,
perfect.
Spray, put it back.
That's beautiful stuff.
You gotta be good at what you do, man. You know, take
and you got to make it fun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Every 24 hours. If you hate your job, it's gonna feel like prison. So you might as well have fun with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a few ways to mitigate stress when it comes on you like that.
Yeah.
And if you have the right mindset, maybe you know that you can get better next time, right? So failure isn't as big of a problem when your mindset is like, I'm going to find what this failure is teaching me, right? Or I'm going to find what triggered me to act this way. Like now you're curious. Now you're asking questions about your mindset, or your mindset is to investigate yourself, understand yourself. Why did I act this way? Why don't I get up on time? Why am I making poor decisions regarding my food?
Yeah, versus sitting there and being the one that just feels like everything's going down the hatch for him, right? Like, oh, why does this happen to me? Like, it's not my fault. This happens all the time. Like, all these things always pop off.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
So we just lost camera, but no big deal. Like, you're just going to keep moving.
Right.
Right? You just have to keep moving through the obstacles, and you let it roll. So that's mindset for the day.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up today, folks. We had a little technical issue. We will get to that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. We would love to hear from you. prioritytrafficpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out. We'll talk to you soon. And sorry for the loss of video. We'll figure it out. See ya.
Thanks.